Hey guys, it is Ash with Solar Movement, and I am so happy and so grateful to have you guys here today with me, creating space for gratitude in our lives. So, no matter what you're celebrating, no matter where you're at or who you are, this practice is for everyone all over the world to really dial back what the word gratitude means. And so that we can fill the heart with it, we can open up all the corners of our heart and our chest and our front body so that we can come down and settle down into a space where we can go a little bit deeper within that. So, what today's practice is going to look like, we're going to start with a 5-minute meditation that's going to ground us and it's going to center us and change the frequency from wherever you're coming from and bring you into a new frequency and presence and body awareness with breath. We're going to flow a little bit. We're going to do some grounding postures. We're going to be doing some heart and chest openers, and then we're going to come back down to the earth and finish off with some journaling. So grab a pen, grab a piece of paper. It is for anyone. If you want to opt out, you can of the journaling section, but I encourage you to push through. It's just 5 questions, and it's going to be a really beautiful time just wherever you're at and whatever you're doing for the rest of your day to be centered in a heart that is filled with gratitude and with presence and for the love that you have for yourself and for life and for others. So grab a pen and paper, grab some water, grab some blocks, grab a mat, and let's begin. We are going to start in a seated. So I always like to sit in meditation with a block underneath my tailbone to elevate my hips. If you have a cushion, you can do that. You can roll up a blanket. You can sit that to have the hips elevated, or you can just sit seated on the floor. You can be lying down, whatever feels comfortable and whatever really allows your body just to relax into this moment. So once you're there, start by closing down the eyes or finding a soft gaze. And take a big inhale in through the nose. And exhale, sigh out the mouth. Start to notice how you're feeling. And start to ask yourself why you're here. What intrigued you enough to do this 60 minutes together? Why did the word gratitude intrigue you to join this practice? Trust the first thing that comes up. It doesn't have to be complicated. I know gratitude is a buzzword and it can be overused. But today we are going to dive more out of the word of gratitude, but more into the practice of gratitude and how it looks and how it feels to live fully in thankfulness for what we have, for who we are. So come back to why you're here. Breathe gently, finding this intuitive breath. And start to bring awareness to your feet. Start to relax any muscles, any tension, following that up through the shins, the calves, all the way up the full legs, and start to release and notice if there's any tension. Now bring awareness to your hips, your belly, softening there, soften, soften. and surrender into the belly, letting it be what it is without judgment. And as you inhale, feel the belly rise, thanking it for being what it is, connecting the north and south hemispheres of our body, filling it with air, with food, and if you're a woman, for life. Now follow that breath awareness to the palms, up the arms, and relaxing the shoulders. Bring awareness to the full torso, softening the rib cages, the backs of the shoulder blades, the spine. And now bring awareness to your chest. Can you tilt your sternum forward, finding this gentle, natural rise in the chest? Releasing any of that rounding in the shoulders and the upper back, but we're finding some integrity here in the chest, in the heart center. Breathe awareness into that heart center. Breathe in, fill all the way up, allowing the chest to rise. Seal the lips and allow that breath to fill through the chest cavity. Now spread the arms left to right in line with the chest. Spread your fingers, thumbs are facing towards the ceiling. Tuck the chin slightly, releasing any tension in the back of the neck. And now flip the palms up towards the ceiling. Slight bend in the elbows and press your chest forward by pressing your arms back just a smidge. Stretching the left and right corners of the heart. Now to yourself, say thank you for showing up. Thank yourself for showing up. Thank yourself for being here, for giving yourself this time today to be grounded. In who you are and the beautiful practice of what gratitude can do for us. Now reach those arms high up towards the ceiling, connecting the palms at the top. Tuck your navel into the back of the spine. Drop your shoulders, or plug them into the sockets, I should say. Inhale, look up. And exhale, bring that prayer to your heart. Tucking the chin. Sealing that intention and the awareness of why you're here, and reminding yourself that throughout this whole practice. Release the palms, reach arms up towards the ceiling. You can start opening your eyes, start bringing the room back into your opticals and start to roll out the wrist. Maybe shaking or rocking the head left to right. And now bring the palms behind you, interlacing your fingers. So you're still seated. Interlacing the fingers behind your back. Roll the shoulder blades up and back and peel the knuckles away from you, allowing the chest to rise and look up. Inhale. And exhale, you're going to arch forward and then start to round, bringing the knuckles up towards back behind you. Any amount is good. Just peel the knuckles away, opening up the shoulder blades. Notice if the jaw is tight. Release the fingertips, reach your arms high, inhale. And then exhale, place them in front of you, rocking forward into a tabletop. And then widen the knees, and you're going to sink your hips down for a child's pose. Reaching your fingers towards the tips of the mat, and allowing your forehead to ground down into the earth. And here I want you to think about what are the foundations in your life that allow you to rest and to ground? What are the foundations in your life that allow you to rest and to ground so that we can grow? The foundations that sustain you, that bring you here, that have brought you here, and thanking it. Thanking the earth below you, maybe as a start. It is a foundation. And each exhale sinks your hips closer down towards the earth, pressing into your palms, wrapping the elbows or the shoulders away from your ears. And start to lift the head and walk your hands over towards the left. The right fingertips are going to reach more towards the top, dropping your left forearm down. And then you can press into that left palm, drop the shoulder down, the right shoulder down towards the earth, feeling the stretch in the right side body. Inhale, feeling the breath through that right side, and exhale, sinking a little deeper. Press up into the torso, lifting up slightly, staying towards the left. Inhale, and push into that palm to send your hips back down towards that right heel. Engaging the Ujjayi breath. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose, sealing the back of the throat or restricting it, creating this oceanic sound. Walk your hands through center and come over towards the left. Left fingertips reach more towards the left. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, drops you down. Drop that left shoulder closer towards the earth, right shoulder closer towards the right hip. Feeling the space starting to awaken your breath. Bringing you here into this moment. Breathe in. And breathe out. Walk your hands through center. Press into your palms, lifting you and rounding you into a tabletop. Wrists underneath your shoulders and knees underneath your hips. Want to find some simple cat and cows here. So drop the belly, shine that and slide that chest forward for a cow. Inhaling, gaze up. And exhale, push the earth away, rounding the spine, navel back. Push down to round deeper. Inhale, lift up, drop the belly. Exhale, round. Find a few fluid moments on your own, feeling in your body, feeling in the kinks that maybe need your breath awareness and your mobility. Maybe that looks like finding a few figure eights and barrel rolls in the spine, just awakening the spine, the life force of our body. It's not just our breath, but it's also our spine. If you have a healthy spine, you live forever. But move with your breath. Take a few more breaths here. And remember, gratitude it's more than a word, you guys. It's about shifting your lens, even just slightly, to notice what is working in your life, what is good, and the things that are helping you stay held. Even if things don't feel perfect or how they should be, gratitude reminds us of what is working and brings us back into the present moment, back into our bodies. Inhale, round, tuck the toes, and send your hips high for a downward facing dog. What is working in our lives? Well, we can bring it back into this moment right here. What is working is our breath. our body. It's allowing us to move and to be here. Pedal out, work out the legs, dropping one heel, lifting the other, coming up onto one tiptoe and then the other. Press evenly into both hands, spread all 10 fingers. Thumbs are facing one another, pointer fingers are pointing towards the front of the mat. Find stillness, lift the heels, tailbone up, knees are bent. So tailbone up, and your knees can still be bent. Some of us, like myself, we have really tight hammies, y'all. Inhale here, send the chest towards the thighs, look forward, and exhale. You're going to walk your feet towards your hands, towards the front of the mat. So these are where blocks can come into a beautiful practice. Feet can be hips width distance apart or big toes together, heels slightly apart. You're going to find a halfway lift. So inhale using blocks, shins or thighs. And exhale, fold. Bend the knees generously, connecting thighs to chest and lean forward into the toes. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Crown is long, spine is long, belly's engaged. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Move with your breath. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Knees are remaining bent. Press into all 10 toes. Press into the heels to slowly roll you up one vertebra at a time into Tadasana, mountain pose. Once you're there, roll your shoulders up and then back. Palms facing open. Knees slightly bent. Navel's engaged. Sternum is lifted. Chin is tucked. Crown is long. Maybe make a little smile with the corners of your mouth. Finding the strength of a pose. What a mighty pose. And find equal weight distribution in both feet. So 50-50. Notice if you're leaning more to one side or the other. Just notice and really fit into 50-50. Grounding yourself here in this moment onto your mat and into your body. What is working? Reach your arms high, bend the knees, inhale. And exhale, just clear the space. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, clear. Inhale. Stay lifted, tuck the pelvic bones, send your hips forward, and lean back slightly. Palms are facing each other, shoulders away from your ears. Option to stay here, feeling this opening in the front body, or you can cactus your arms, sending your hips forward more, squeezing your glutes, elbows coming more towards your side, feeling the heart opening up. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, cactus the arms, opening up the chest. See if you can go a little bit deeper and think of it as your chest is lifting up and then back. So we're not collapsing into that lower back. Up and then back. Inhale, reach. Exhale, hinge at the hips, swan dive, leading with that beautiful heart of yours forward. Fold. Shake the head yes, and shake the head no. Plug your hands down onto the earth and step back into that downward facing dog. Take a breath here, inhale. Exhale, stay. Round your torso up towards the front for a high plank pause. Let's adjust here. Let's find that strong foundation that we can rely on so much throughout our days. It's not just the earth, but it's also our breath. So if you are not breathing, you are thinking. Come back to the breath. Spread all 10 fingers. Push away to stay up. Engage the belly. Drop your right knee, kiss the earth, lift it up. Drop the left knee, kiss the earth, lift it up. Now drop both knees down, hinge forward slightly, elbows wrapped around facing the back, arms are hugging the sides of your body, and then lower halfway, inhale, or exhale, excuse me. Inhale, find cobra. So hands by your rib cage, elbows still plugged towards the side, and exhale, melt down. Take a breath here. Take a breath out. And now tee out your arms left and right. Keep in line with your chest. So you're making this beautiful T. Lift that left leg up and then sweep it behind you by bending that left knee, pressing into that right palm. That left arm can come up and just hang out. And if you want to use that block here as a pillow, it can help keep the spine in one line. Gratitude is more than just a word, but it's a feeling. Press that left hand back down. Move your left leg back in line with your right. And now let's peel open onto that left side. So press into that left hand and reach that right leg back behind you, bending that right knee. Right hand can open up and you can gaze towards the ceiling. Reach back down, pivot around. And then bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Find baby cobra by pressing into the hip joints, press into the toes. Spine is long. Try not to arch the neck looking forward, but you're looking right down at the mat. Feel the strength of your back body. And then for extra spice, you can lift your palms off the earth. Inhale here. Exhale, sweep them forward and then lift the toes. Squeeze the glute, point the toes, lift the heels higher if you can, and then you can start to lift your chest higher. For 3, for 2, for 1, lower all the way down. Come down onto your right ear and shake your hips left to right. Inhale. Exhale, out the nose. Bring your chin to your space. Bring your palms back underneath your shoulders and press up for cobra. And exhale, move back into downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet. Inhale once. Exhale, find stillness. See if your heels can touch the ground a little bit closer. It's okay if they don't. I don't care. As long as your hips and your tailbone are high and you're relaxed in your shoulders. That's all I care about. As long as it feels good. But just press your chest towards your thighs. Lift that right leg high. Inhale for a 3-legged dog. Exhale, bend the knee, open up the hip. Find a few knee circles if that feels good. Finding some lubrication and mobility in that right joint. Inhale, 3-legged dog. And exhale, step or grab it with your hand to bring it towards the front of your space in between both hands. Drop that left knee down and reach your arms high, Anjaneyasana, low lunge. So plug that right hip back and that left hip forward. It's going to help create more space in the lower spine. So we're not collapsing, and it's allowing us to lift out of that joint. Palms are facing each other, or you can interlace all 3 of the last fingers, finding the steeple grip. Maybe gazing up, and you can look back, finding this opening in the front. And then exhale, prayer twist over towards the right, hooking that left elbow on the outer right thigh, pressing into the palms, keeping the collarbones broadened. Remember, left hip press forward, press that right heel towards the back. Gaze behind you. Swoop the prayer up. Inhale, find neutral. Exhale, straighten that front leg. Press into that right heel, finding half splits. Blocks are beautiful here, you guys, especially if you have the tight hammies. I like to slide that back knee just back a few more inches, straightening that leg. And my right knee can be bent, but it's about extending that chest forward and melting down. So we're not forcing ourselves into anything that doesn't feel good. Find the space in your body where it works for you and then think it. Because where you're at today may very well be different than where you were at yesterday and then tomorrow. So thank your body for being where it's at and knowing where you want to go to. Shoulder blades down. If you want to tilt the toes out towards the right, hips towards the left to get more into IT band, go for it. Beautiful. Bend that right knee. Lift the arms high. Inhale. And then exhale. Frame the foot with your hands. Step that right leg back to three-legged dog. Lift up. Inhale. And then exhale. You're going to press that right foot back up through center in between the hands. Gaze forward. Come up onto the left toes. Heel is strong. And lift the arms high for a crescent lunge. Inhale. And exhale, step that left foot to meet the right for Utkatasana, chair pose. Sink low, sit down, tuck the pelvic bone in, flat back. Hold here. Breathe. Shifting the lens, being thankful for how strong this foundation is. Being thankful for your body and where you're at. What is working in this pose? Now look down and notice if your knees are coming in. Can you align them with the hips? You can also place a block and squeeze in between the thighs. If you have no block, that's okay. Just keep them hips width distance, or you can always have your big toes to touch and heels slightly apart. Now can you sink lower? Can you sink a little lower? Sink a little lower. Beautiful. Now press up, stand, reach up tall. Inhale. Exhale, Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale the palms together. Exhale, stay. Take a moment, feel the heart. Thank you, heart, for beating. It shows I am alive. Holy shit, we're alive. Sink that, or press that prayer up. Breathe in, cactus the arms. Exhale. Inhale, press up. And as you exhale, slightly tilt those left toes back behind you, keeping them lifted, opening up more of this front body. Drop the left toes back. Now right toes lift back behind you, point them, look up. Exhale. Inhale, press up, big stretch. Exhale, swan dive, hinging at the hips, fold down. Find the halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, breathe out. Shake the head yes, and shake the head no. Plant your palms and step back this time into a full high plank here. Shift forward. So options to do the Chaturanga Dandasana by lowering down on your knees. Remember, elbows are facing the back, squeeze them inward, and lowering halfway, 90 degree. Look at my arms. And then inhale, finding a halfway lift. So either cobra or up dog by lifting the thighs and the knees, or downward face, and then into downward facing dog. Or if you want to go into the full variation, look at my elbows. I'm not dipping my shoulders, and my hips are not lifted. We see a lot of that. Imagine there is a block hitting your chest so that you can come down there. And then that is where you'll find your halfway lift. Exhale, downward dog. Protect those shoulders, guys. Foundational yoga here. Meet me in down dog. Take a nice breath in through the nose. Keep the lips sealed. Exhale out. Inhale that left leg high. Exhale, bend that knee, open the hip. Any amount. And now start to find your hip circles if that feels good. Moving the hip joint around. And inhale, three-legged dog, and then exhale, step or bring it forward in between the hands. Drop that right knee, back knee down, and reach your arms high, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, sink lower. Bump that right hip forward, left hip back. Press into that left heel. Can you open up more through the chest? Breathe. When things feel uncomfortable, where does your mind go? Come back to your breath. Soften into it. Do not resist it. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, straighten that left leg, finding half splits here. Ooh, this side is tight, y'all. Play around, find some mobility here. Find the movements that feel good. The left knee can be bent. I would rather you guys be where your body is at today than forcing it into shapes and positions that are not meant for your body today. Being okay with it. Now bend that left knee, plant the foot, reach the arms high, inhale. And exhale, frame the foot with both hands and step it back into three-legged dog. Breathe in. And then exhale, bring it back in between the hands and lift your arms high for a crescent lunge. Back leg is strong. Squeeze that back glute for balance. Scissor the inner thighs together. Inhale. And then exhale, right foot to meet the left, Utkatasana chair pose. Sink the hips. Inhale. Exhale, sink deeper. Inhale. Exhale, sink a little deeper. Yes, you can. Now this time, inhale, press up, strong legs. Exhale, cactus the arms, open the heart. Inhale, lean up. Exhale, this time, right toes behind you, lift up behind. Drop them down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, left toes, bring them behind you, grounding down through that right foot. Drop it down. Inhale, your arms high. Exhale, prayer to your heart. Samasthiti. Take a moment. Breathe through your nose. Come back to why you're here. Come back to the space that you're wanting to create. Beautiful. Reach the arms high. Exhale. Swan dive down, bending at the knees, hinging at the hips, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Press into those shins, the block or thighs. And exhale, fold. Step back, high plank. And as you exhale, find your version of Chaturanga Dandasana. Move in ways that feel good and free and fun in your body. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the nose. Reach the right leg high. Breathe in. Exhale, bring it forward to the top of your mat in between your hands. Stay here for just a moment. Now lift the arms high for high crescent. And then exhale, drop the left heel down, warrior two. Bend the right knee. Tee out the arms. Gaze is at the right middle finger. Lean forward. And then high five that back wall. Reverse warrior. Straighten the front leg. Inhale and then lead with that right hand, tick-tocking the arms, hinge forward and exhale, Trikonasana, triangle pose. Right knee is still slightly bent. I'm not hyper locking that joint. Bump the left hip forward. And press into either the right calf, inner calf, or finding that block to keep the spine strong and long. Beautiful. And tee out the arms, lift yourself back up, and turn those right toes in, heels in, and then lift your arms high for star. stretching the corners of the heart. And exhale, bend the knees, hinging at the hips, fold down for a wide-legged forward fold. Send the hips high, drop the head. Inhale, press into your hands, finding a half lift. And exhale, fold. You can walk your hands in front of you, coming up with all 10 fingertips. Sink the hips back and fingers forward. Drop the head. Walk your hands back underneath. These are beautiful options if you have handstand, forearm stand, headstand in your practice. I'll give you a few breaths to go into it. But if you're here with me, you can bend your right knee, straightening that left, straightening that right, and then bending the left. And finding a few more breaths this way, just opening up the inner legs, the groin. And then when you're ready, you can crawl to face that right foot. Inhale, looking forward. Exhale, send that right leg back, three-legged dog. Inhale here. Exhale, bend that knee, opening up that hip. You can stay here. And if you want a heart opener, you can find Wild Thing, dipping those right toes behind you, pivoting around on that left foot. Left foot is like a strong and straight. Press your hips high, inhaling your arm. Exhale, stay. If you want to go into a back bend and finding wheel here, you can. Reach your right arm high. Send the hips low to pivot back around into three-legged dog. Lift that right leg high. Inhale. Exhale, send it back in front of you. Reach the arms high. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, send that left foot back to meet your right and Utkatasana at the front of your mat. Reach high, inhale. And exhale, interlace those fingers. My knees are still bent, hips back. And press the knuckles away, rolling the shoulder blades back, gazes up. And exhale, bend down and fold, keeping the elbows slightly bent. Shake your head yes, and shake your head no. Press the knuckles away from you towards the ceiling. Release your hands, find a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Plant your hands, step back to a high plank, pause. Push the earth away. Drop the left knee, touch the earth slightly and bring it back up. Touch the right knee down and bring it back up. Now lean forward. Round the elbows towards the back of your space. Hug your arms towards your side. Lower halfway. Exhale. Inhale. Find your back bend. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale your left leg high. Exhale, step or bring it forward in between your hands. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Reach the arms high. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, drop that right heel down. Open up left side body, warrior two. Align your front heel with the back inner arch. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Bend that knee 90 degrees. Lean forward and then high five that back wall. Keep that left knee bent, reverse warrior. Press into the outer edge of that right foot. Try not to collapse into that right shoulder. So you're either pressing into that back leg or you can find that half bind around the low back. Straighten that left leg. Revolve triangle. Lead with that left hand, tick-tocking your arms forward. Trikonasana triangle. Lead with that back arm, lift up using your obliques. Turn the right toes out, heels are in, finding wide-legged. On the opposite side, reach your arms high for star, feeling the strong, vulnerable pose. Exhale, bend the knees and melt yourself down into a wide-legged forward fold. Hello. Option for headstands or any inversions here. If you're with me, start to walk your hands back in between your legs this time. See if you can tilt into your toes, getting your head closer to the earth. Now walk your hands back underneath your face. Find a halfway lift. And then exhale, bend into that right knee. And then bend into the left. Now bend into that left knee. Walk your hands to frame that front foot and send it left leg back for three-legged dog. Inhale. Exhale, bend the knee, open up the hip. Stay here, or you can find Wild Thing on the right side now. Press the hips high, lift the chest, opening the heart. For 3, 2, 1, dip the hips low, pivot around, three-legged dog, left leg high, inhale. Exhale, send it forward. Inhale, high lunge. Oops, my necklace is caught on my mic. And then on the exhale, right leg to meet your left, Utkatasana chair. This time, finding another beautiful way to open the heart. You're gonna find prayer at the bottom. So you can, at the back, you can find the interlace if that feels good for you. Or you can find prayer, pressing the palms together into that mid back, opening up the collarbones. Gaze is up, sink a little lower. And then exhale, release your arms forward, fold Uttanasana. Shake the head yes. And shake the head no. Shake the head yes. And shake the head no. Go ahead and heel toe your feet wide, or as wide or wider than your mat, heels and toes out, and sink your hips low. Finding Malasana Yogi Squat. Elbows are in of your knees, palms together, broadening the chest. So if this doesn't feel right for you and your body today, there are options. Grab some blocks or something that mimics them. You can find a little T here and sit your sacrum down on it. We all know we love this. And still, just find what works. You can sit any length where your body will feel good. And take a moment, maybe just feeling the weight in your feet as you go side to side. And then sink your glutes down, finding Navasana boat pose. Press your navel to the back of your spine. Scoop the rib cage in, chest out or up. You can hold your thighs. Your hands can be on the earth, or you can reach your arms high for extra spice. Inhale here. And then exhale, lower halfway. Gauge your belly button. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, extend out. Inhale. Exhale. In. I am grateful for my belly. In. Out. I am grateful for the strength that I have. Keep going. And remember, you can tell your body when to do something. 9 times out of 10, it will do it. It's just your mind that is getting in the way. I've learned that from one of my favorite teachers, Dedeka. Your mind is getting in the way most of the time. But 9 times out of 10, if you tell your body to do something, it can and it will. So let's do 3 more. I hope you didn't stop with me. 2 more. Inhale, exhale, drop your feet down and roll all the way down into your backs. Finding your knees bent, bring your heels closer to your glute. Lift your hips slightly and find gravity to allow it to hit the earth, kind of like how I'm doing. Come kind of allowing the back of the body to flesh with the earth, releasing the sacrum, the low spine. Finding these little taps is a beautiful somatic tool to bring our body back into this present moment. Beautiful. Oh, so find stillness. We're going to go into bridge or wheel. Remember, 9 times out of 10, you can do something. But for my bridge people, go ahead and press into your heels, lift your hips high, roll your shoulders underneath your chest. You can either keep pressing into your palms, or you can interlace your fingers underneath your sacrum and pressing into your forearms and your knuckles to lift you up higher. Try not to tuck that chin too much to the chest, but you're creating some space in the throat. For wheel people, go ahead and place your hands by your face, fingertips facing the front of your space. Glue the elbows together, press up onto your hips, then on the top of your crown. This is another beautiful option. And then you can press into your palms and pressing that chest forward, straightening the legs, dropping the head back. Breathe here for 3 breaths. Meet the resistance, meet the uncomfortability. You can play around in your wheel, maybe lifting one leg and then the other. And then you get out, head, neck, back. Bring your feet as wide, everyone. Bring your knees in, knocking them, releasing the spine. Breathe deeply. Walk your feet back together. Bring your knees into your chest, wrapping your arms around the shins and rock side to side. If you want to find a counter pose for wheel, you can take a shoulder stand, take plow pose. I'll give you guys about 3, 4 to 5 breaths to feel intuitive before we go into some twists so that we can go into Shavasana, so that we can go into journaling. So for shoulder stand, you can extend your legs high for waterfall and then pressing into your elbows by your side, lifting your hips up. Fingertips on the low of your back, crawling them up the back, excuse me. And then dipping the toes behind you, then placing your palms onto the earth behind you. If you want to find deaf man's pose, you can bend the knee, cover the ears. Breathe. To get out of it, place your hands back on the back, lift your feet up towards the ceiling, and then walk your hands down the back, bending your knees, and then bringing them back in and rocking side to side. If you want to find a happy baby, bending the knees, grabbing the outer edges, pressing the knees towards the armpits. Go for it. Bring your knees back together. Wrap your right leg over the left and drop your knees over towards the left, looking towards the right. Finding this gentle twist. Come back to your breath, deepening it. Letting go any of resistance, any tension. Notice if the jaw is tight. Go ahead and come back through center. And then wrap your left leg around your right. And then drop your knees over towards the right, gazing towards the left. Breathe. So gratitude. What is working in your life and being grateful for it. It's also not about ignoring the hard stuff either. In fact, gratitude can sit right next to the hard shit, right next to the sadness, the grief, the anger, the fear. And in that quiet moment of recognizing, despite all of that hard shit, there's still something that sustains you. Unraveling the legs, coming back through center, and then bringing your knees into your chest. Press your tailbone down and round your forehead up to your knees, rounding up into a ball. Breathe in, squeeze, 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 squeeze. And exhale, release everything down and take up space, extending your legs in front of you. Take up space, guys. You are allowed to take up space. You are allowed to be a human on this earth. You are allowed to move your bodies in ways that feel good. You're allowed to take up space. So take up space and breathe in through the nose. And breathe out. Inhale through the nose. And this time as you exhale, hum down into the heart. Beautiful. Let's do that one more time. Breathe in. Allowing the vibrations to soothe the nervous system a bit more. Shavasana. Stay with your breath as an anchor. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for this breath. Thank you for my body. Thank you for this space to be able to practice in. Thank you for grace, for acceptance, for love. I'm grateful I have a space to practice in, a roof over my head. I have a body that is healthy. I have a body that's able to rest. Thank you. I have family, I have friends, I have clothes, I have a dog. I have the ability to be human. Damn, thank you. Thank you. Bend your knees, bring your feet back onto the earth, and then roll onto one side so that you can easily press into seated position. So we have a few more minutes together. But before we go into the journal prompts, let's find a seat, closing the practice that we just did together, the physical. But we all know that yoga is more than just the physical, it's everything else. There's so many different limbs of yoga, which we can go into all of that a different day. But reality is you can't see yoga. You can't see it. But yoga is a practice with breath, with awareness of who we are and how we choose to show up. So reach your arms high up, inhale. And then as you exhale, seal your palms together in prayer, sealing this practice. Thank you. Now, for the fun part, the journaling prompts. So before we go into that, I'd also just want to share that Gratitude, it truly does rewire the brain, because we live in such a society that it's hard to stay present in our bodies and in the things that are good, because we're constantly being shown all these things by what's on our phone or what's out in the world. Like it's everything's constant. Our minds are having a hard time either just comparing ourselves to others in their lives, or we're not good enough, they're better, whatever. I wish I could do this and that, and in our brain. And that really takes us out of gratitude. It takes us out of the present moment and what's really true and real in our lives. But once we practice this practice of gratitude, not the word, it truly rewires the brain for you to see what's actually true in your life. The things that are good, small to big, to big to small. And as you do that, it strengthens a muscle that helps you find balance when life feels unsteady. So it's an anchor to the present moment, just like our breath. So thank you, breath, shows you're alive. And it's not having gratitude, it's not pasting over the hardship. It's not pretending that everything is amazing. It's about noticing the small, the meaningful things that are. It's not just a word, it's a lifestyle, it's a tool, it's a sustainable thing that grounds you and allows for more joy in your life. So I am going to write out the questions too on the screen so that you can pause, take some time to journal. This is where I'll really will end with you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and read the questions, and as I read, they will be popping up on the screen. I'm sure I can figure out how to do that. But yeah, pause, take your time with it, make some tea. But I really encourage you to stay with this and try it and get to know yourself on a deeper level. Question 1 is, what in my life is working? So what is working? It helps you kind of step out of the spiral of what is not working. Come back to what is working. Start small. The next question is, think about a tough moment recently. What sustained you? So what sustained you in that tough moment? How did you get through it? Question 3. And what is one small, meaningful thing from today that's worth noticing and appreciating? 4. And how can you practice gratitude in your daily life? Well, what could it look like daily to practice and to invite more of it into your life, in your space, in your heart? And 5. And who is someone in your life you can really say thank you to? It can be small or deep, anyone. Now I want you to go tell that person, thank you. That's where I'll end with you guys. Thank you so much. I hope you have such an amazing day. And just know that this practice isn't just for Thanksgiving, because it's for anyone at any time. Please come back to it whenever you need it. I hope you feel grounded. I hope you feel open. And I hope that it creates more space for more gratitude in your life. I am so thankful for you guys, for Solar Movement. And I am just stoked to see all that you guys do in your life. So please comment if you loved this video. I would love to know what is working in your life.